There's no other way to slice it. John Calipari is failing at Arkansas. Some of you in my comments have started to ask me, hey, you seen what Arkansas media is saying about John Calipari, about Kentucky, just in general, about Kentucky fans? Are you watching the Locked On Razorbacks podcast, Lance? Are you seeing what John Neighbors has to say right now? Yeah. I'm seeing what's happening over there in Fayetteville. It's gotten to a point for me where it's not like a ha-ha, gotcha. It's not like a, oh, you suck and I'm laughing at it. A former Hall of Fame coach that took Kentucky to incredible heights is just falling apart right now. And it's for all of the reasons that you and I have been discussing for going on 4 years now. The man simply is just watching the game pass him by right now. In terms of schematics, in terms of execution, in game, recruiting is becoming more of a moot point because of the fact that the transfer portal exists now and NIL exists. Things are being spread around, I think, a little more evenly. And when I say spread around a little more evenly, I don't mean financially. I mean in terms of quality of overall team. You can get a team full of transfers and you can watch them succeed with the right coaching. Case in point, Mark Pope. It's not all about the 5-star freshman anymore. Putting together a team of 18-year-olds that can out-athlete everybody. You can't do that anymore. And Calipari is an old dog that clearly, at this point in the season, cannot learn new tricks. Again, we're going on 3 straight years on my show of me reiterating this over and over and over again. I've continued to say, you can't win it all with a bunch of 5-star freshmen. I've continued to say, this coaching staff is not doing their job. They're not scouting and they're not planning as well as they could against opponents that, frankly, they should beat on paper. This is something that I think John Neighbors said this on his Locked On Razorbacks podcast. He was like, we weren't expecting for this team to win a national championship. Maybe there was a small portion of the Arkansas fan base that was expecting that. But like that was like we were expecting a team that at the very least just made the NCAA tournament. And if I'm in his shoes, I agree. On paper, this is a team that should have made the tournament. Should make the tournament. It's still obviously on the table, duh. But yeah, they look horrible. 4 games into conference play. First time Cal was 0-3 in conference play, period. Now the first time he's 0-4. Lost to LSU. Watch the way the end of that game played out. It is modern Cal to a T. Stuff was not being ran effectively. You had players whiffing layups. You had confidence shaken. You know why they were missing layups? Because it's a bunch of freaking freshmen. They've lost 3 straight. Things are falling apart. They don't have a coach that can steer them in the right direction. He hasn't been able to do this for going on half a freaking decade. Yes, there have been moments in the regular season where things just pop. It's because he's got 5-star freshmen. They're going to wake up at some point. This game against Missouri, by the way, this Saturday, probably a perfect time for that to happen. And for some confidence to be built back, only for you to get pimp slapped here in a couple games when you play Kentucky. That's how it's shaping up to play out. And I'm not saying that from like a position of arrogance. Like that's just like if it was insert Auburn on your schedule, insert a Tennessee February 1st. It's just an opponent that on paper is better than you is what I'm saying. Like you get some momentum back and then you get bullied. Boogie Fland is a fun player to watch, but he can't carry a team. Adu Thiero is a really fun player to watch, but he can't carry a team. He doesn't have enough bag. He is a tank, and he'd be great for Mark Pope. He would have been great this year. Zvonimir Ivasic is a really good stretch forward, but he's not physical enough to protect the rim, and he can't win the game alone. Wagner has seen his three-point shot go down, and he is struggling a little bit offensively, shooting sub 50% from two as well. Carter Knox and Billy Richmond have not contributed to this team as much as maybe they were expected to contribute to Kentucky, at least in my mind, whenever they were still committed. Janelle Davis has been worthless relative to his relative to his transfer portal expectations. Cal hasn't used him. He has taken one of the college basketball's best players at Florida Atlantic, and he's made him worthless. His offensive rating last season was 114. That's good. That's not great, but it's good. He was shooting 41% from three. This year, offensive rating tanked to 99.9%. I cannot remember the last time that I have seen a player's offensive rating dip that dramatically with this much of a sample size. We're over halfway through the season, by the way. 35.3% from three. Went from 41 to 35. 7% drop for a kid that you're not even using. The roster is being mismanaged. The team is not executing in the spots that they should. They're not shooting well at the rim. Get this. Get this. Through 4 games of SEC play, Arkansas is shooting 41.8% inside the arc. 41.8 inside the arc. 16th in the SEC. 26% from three. There is no other way to slice it. Again, John Calipari is failing. They suck. They suck. Analytically, they stink. And it doesn't seem like there's a darn thing Cal's going to do about it. I feel for Arkansas. I am frustrated for Arkansas. I saw it coming. I knew what was happening. This was a team that I said to anybody that would listen to me, and I didn't really say a ton of this on air, but I said it to a ton of people online. This is a team that can't shoot. They can't shoot the basketball, and they're going to struggle because their defense is not going to be able to carry them despite bringing in guys like Jonas Adu. It's not going to happen. Coaching, you're not getting that. You are number 50 in the net. You're number 47 on KenPom. You're projected to go 17-14, 6-12. Pulling up the bracket matrix here, Arkansas is now projected to miss the field. Out of the 59 brackets out there from either big analytics sites or places like CBS or ESPN, only 18 of them currently have Arkansas on the field of 68. And some of these haven't been updated since they lost to LSU. I feel for Arkansas. I hate it. Cal's falling apart. It kind of sucks to watch, given what he was to this program for 15-ish years. That being said, Kentucky caught a massive break. They caught a massive break with him leaving when he did. They also, seems like, pump the brakes a little bit on this. They also caught a massive break with Mark Pope being hired over Scott Drew, over Dan Hurley, over Bruce Pearl, over Shaka Smart. Right now, as of today, January 16th, year of our Lord 2025, it seems like Mark Pope is just as good, if not better, than them, all of these candidates, in a variety of ways. He fits Kentucky better. That's probably the biggest thing. He fits us better. He gets us and he understands it, and it's not an act. This is a genuinely good human being that on top of it is also like loved by his community because of who he is. Did you see the video of him talking to that the fan at the Mississippi State game? Walked all the way up to the freaking top of the arena to go sit down and talk with him. That's what you want to see out of a head coach that cares. He clearly cares. He's incredibly smart. You see that with the Columbia stuff. You see that with the way that he's coaching offense. Right now, Thursday, January 16th, he's better than Scott Drew. Right now, he's just as good as Dan Hurley. By the way, that UConn team, they can't play defense right now. Just as much as Kentucky is struggling with it. Analytically, Kentucky's just as good. Which is kind of weird to say. Actually, I need to go look where Connecticut's 26th on KenPom, 108 in defensive efficiency. Kentucky 16th on KenPom, 74th. Obviously, things can change, but again, we got very upset with Mitch Barnhart and the way that this coaching search was handled. So, some of us did. I mean, obviously, I was bewildered with kind of like how it shook out. If Kentucky gets to the Sweet 16 or beyond, we may need to throw a parade for that, man. I mean, seriously. Slam, dunk, home run higher. It feels like right now. We'll see. But Calipari, he's falling apart. And Kentucky, for some of it, despite being human, despite being vulnerable, is in a much better position. Infinitely better position right now. We'll see what happens, but right now, Kentucky's in a much better spot. February 1st, one of the game, if not the game of the year. Cannot wait. Doesn't matter how bad Arkansas is playing. You know they're going to get up for that crap. Let me know what you think in the comments below.